Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So for today I built a beach house because we're supposed to get a foot of snow where I live over the next day and I'm not here for it. I don't like the snow. I've mentioned it in other videos. It's not my favorite thing. I don't like the cold. I don't like it. But since we're getting a foot's worth of snow according to our weather in the next day, I decided to build a beach house to take myself away from the current hellscape that I'm living in. So let's just jump into the build and I'm going to show you what I did. So I started off inside of Sulani. Now, I know that Sulani itself, you can't have residential rentals. I really want to build a residential rental on this lot specifically because it's one of the only ones that's like not in water and you can't build them if they're in water. I don't know exactly why you can't, but like I just know you can't. Also, the last couple builds I've been doing have all been for Bob's Burgers and their townhouses. So check out that series, by the way. I'll link it. But I I didn't want to build just a normal box like I did in the other one. I wanted to kind of push my creativity a little bit more in this build because this build is like pretty usable because I'm playing in it right now, to be completely honest with you. I built it for one of my sim saves. I actually just created a new save for it because I really wanted to play in this house. I ended up really liking it. I added some extra stuff that I personally like to play with in it. I used a lot of packs, so I'm really sorry. I wasn't trying to use a lot of packs, but I did. And also I forgot how curved walls are. I never use them, and I did in this build, and I understand now why that's like not used. I think they look cool. Like I actually really like the way this house turns out, like the way it looks, the shape of it, I thought was really interesting. However, when I was building the shape, I did not think about roofing very hard. Roofing I thought would take me a lot longer. I think the roof looks okay. I'm not sure how I feel about that little platform in the front there, but I'm cool with it for right now. I was going for like a bungalow, but bougie. That was kind of what I was thinking. I didn't have a reference. I was just like trying to find stuff. And honestly, in the beginning of this build, I was trying really hard not to use a ton of packs. I ended up using a ton of packs because there's a lot of stuff that I felt fit the vibe or like whatever that wasn't part of another pack, which kind of sucks. But like I said, I intended for this to just be something that I played in. I don't even know if I'll upload it on the gallery. You guys will have to let me know if you want it on the gallery. I might upload it just for funsies. I felt like putting a pool in here was kind of pointless because they're at the beach, like they're basically on the beach. But I put a pool anyway because sometimes I don't want to have to deal with my Sims walking super far out and then having to come back. It's just a lot. So I just rather put a pool in, no matter what. Like I don't care. I think the house total was 145,000 simoleons. It's kind of expensive, but budget was not something I was worried about. Same with like the packs. I kind of, as I went on in the build, I just didn't care too much about the packs that I was using. I just wanted to use stuff that I felt like either looked well together or stuff that I personally like to use in the game. This I was gonna label this my dream beach house, but I'm gonna be honest with you, anything I create in The Sims isn't gonna be like my dream or whatever because everything is just more mainstream. I'm not saying the stuff I like isn't mainstream, but a good majority of stuff that I see just feels bland, and so I don't necessarily like. I wear a lot of bland clothing and stuff, but overall, I felt like this wallpaper maybe doesn't suit it as well. I left it in. I actually like the wallpaper because it gives you the I don't like it in the sense of like the way it looks, but I do like it in how it kind of just ties it together because this just looks like a big bungalow, which is kind of what I was going for. But there's a lot more inside once we start building the inside. I wanted to do some roofing right above the porch because my big thing was I like houses that have like the curved wall and then a porch right out front of it. And I had to cut some of the footage because it was impossible to figure out how to do it. I don't even necessarily know 100% how I ended up to get it to work, but I realized that roofing that corner was going to be such a nightmare for me that I was just going to leave it as a flat roof. I initially wasn't going to even put like a roof on it, but it looked really odd and I really wanted some of those. I think they're called spandrels. I could be wrong, but I really wanted to use some of those around it because I never do. Like I just forget that they're there and I never use them. And so I really wanted to take advantage of that and use them. Now, the floor plan of this house, I had not thought about it at all when I started building. I'm not even going to lie to you. I had not even thought about the floor plan. I just was started building and I was just going to see where it takes me. I didn't really have like a super specific plan for what I wanted to do other than like I said in the beginning of the video, which was just a bungalow on the outside but bougier on the inside because I like my Sims to live somewhere nice, that way you don't have to deal with like the ugly decoration moodlet or whatever. And these Sims that I was gonna play here with, they have so much money that it doesn't even matter. Like they just sell wine and they're magicians. Like they don't care. Like they have so much money that I don't have to worry about them needing jobs or anything. So this is really just a house for my Sims that don't work, I guess. They can just do whatever they want. I just let them kind of free roam it. I feel like I control my Sims so hard that like it's probably nice for them to have a little break every now and then. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you guys do that. That's how I like to play. I also got kind of tired of all the rugs that we have. I don't mean that mean because I actually like a good majority of them, but I didn't feel like any of them really fit the vibe of what I was kind of like shooting for here, especially in the entryway. Like I didn't want to size them up and size them down. And I realized as I was doing these little quarter tiles that I've done it. I did it in my really big ski lodge build, with the transitioning and like to help give some texture on the floor in the bigger rooms that I didn't have a lot of stuff to put in. And I decided to try it out here because I couldn't find a rug, honestly, that I had liked. So I kind of just made my own pattern in the floor with or with quarter tiles. If you don't know how to do it on the computer, I believe it's Alt 4, not F4, Alt 4. I think that's how you do it. Or it's, I don't remember. It's one of the keys. You can Google it. I'll put it up on the screen somewhere if I remember. But it's a lot of, it made it, I think, better. Granted, I wish I could have put a little point at the corners there instead of it being flat, but grid system, I couldn't really do it, unfortunately. But I tried to put some more patterns that you would see in like, I feel like that was like a big like 90s thing. Like does anybody remember the little skate arenas that we had and like the weird flooring or even like movie theater flooring back then? Like they had weird patterns. Now I was going for something similar to that, but like nicer, I guess. I don't know that I like how close the diamonds are in that walkway. Also, I love that wallpaper. That plant wallpaper comes in so many different colors, and I just absolutely adore it. I used a lot of plants. If it was up to me, my house would be filled with plants. I'm so bad at taking care of them recently, but like I would love to have more plants. There was a time in my life where I had a ton of plants in my house, and I kept them all alive for a good majority of the time that I lived there. It was when I moved that I had to get rid of them because I just didn't have enough space, which was really sad because I had worked on those plants for at least a year, and it was like the first time that they had stayed alive. But we're working on the kitchen now. So that little room over there is going to be like a bonus room. And then this is the kitchen. I was going to use a half wall to help separate it because I wanted them to have like a sit in, like, I don't really know what it's called. I guess a bar counter. I don't know what that's called. I'm not good at that, naming that stuff. But I wanted them to be able to sit down at the counter to eat because I didn't initially, I wasn't going to put a dining room table in or really even a dining room. I was going to convert the area next to the stairs into a bathroom because I realized later that I had never put a bathroom on this floor. Granted, I don't always put a bathroom on the first floor if they're all living on the second floor, but it's always a good idea to have a bathroom somewhere on that first floor, especially if you plan to play with kiddos because they can't climb the stairs until they're level 2 in movement, and that can be an absolute nightmare. And also, waiting for them to climb the stairs sucks. So, I didn't put a bathroom on the first floor. I didn't intend to really play with kids at this lot, but if you wanted to, one of the rooms upstairs is a nursery. And like a little kid, like a kid's room, you know what I mean? It's not anything crazy, but just for accessibility, I figured if people wanted to play in this, wanted to play with the kiddos, it's already there. I initially was trying to figure out I was trying to figure out just how to break this space up. I couldn't figure out how to break this space up. I didn't like the way that it looked. It was too open, and I didn't really know what I wanted on the first floor. So I put this giant wall up, which I don't feel like I see in a ton of houses anymore. But I remember seeing houses when I was younger that just had a wall like that, with like the TV on one side and a fireplace on the other and stuff like that. I used to see that in houses more. And I don't feel like I really do. I don't see like the blank wall. And I mean, like, I get it. Everyone's into like open floor plans and whatever now. But I kind of miss it because it helped like section off the areas a little bit better. And I like to have things more organized when it comes to like what goes in what room. So I don't know. I just wanted to put a wall up, I guess, and kind of see what happened. Granted, the whole tile placing in that corner right there on that curved wall, I know it's hard to see because I'm going fast. When I slow it down, you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, you can see it right there. I couldn't change that flooring without it changing the outside because curved wall magic, I guess. So that's initially why the hardwood is like bleeding in like that. Granted, it is playable. However, I did put something above the stairs that I realized is not it makes the stairs unplayable for some reason. Never had an issue with it in the past, but I do now. This is the dining room. Initially, I was gonna make this like a little like art corner or like a studio of some kind, maybe like music mixing or something. I wasn't super sure. This is a bonus room that I made into like their office, and the intention was always to make this into an office, but like a cozier office, something like from House, I guess, is kind of what I was thinking, just less dark. If you've ever seen House, his office and at his house, not in the not at his office, but at his house, it's darker, I think it looks good. I like the vibe of it. That's kind of what I was going for there. Now, this area, I really didn't know what would be usable there because if you hover over it, it like shows the outside deck too, but it still considers everything there covered. So I put a bar, and then on here it was just too bland. So I used a bunch of stuff from Blooming Rooms and a bunch of stuff from I think those are from Eco Lifestyle if I remember right. Yes, they are. I've been using that in a lot of builds because it helps add texture and dimension within the build itself. I feel like the walls always like I'm just tired of the wallpapers, I think is my big thing. And like the wallpapers I don't use, I think are kind of ugly. So being able to break up the wall in ways other than wallpaper and like art is really nice, especially when I'm just building this without having any Sims artwork. I know I can download it off the gallery. I just prefer not to. I like to just have my Sims do it because the intention is that it's the house that you're starting in or the house that they move into and they're bringing their stuff. That's always how I build. It's always how I've built, like how I've tried to build. I don't like to use like the random artwork off the gallery. One, because it sometimes can be buggy for the build. I've had issues with it in the past, but I also don't always like all the artwork that's there. And if I had to go through loading screens and searching just to find the artwork I didn't really like, I felt like that was kind of a waste. And especially when I'm doing builds like this, I don't really have the time to just sit there and look through the gallery for 2 hours to find the ones that I do like. So I just don't deal with it at all. The only time I use the gallery for artwork is when I was doing the that really big ski lodge build and I needed artwork that was not in the game because I literally used everything else. And that was why I had to go to the gallery. And it was a nightmare to deal with because it's all on a wall. And then if you delete the wall, it doesn't always delete all the pictures. So they're just like floating. So you got to be careful where you place it. I just don't like dealing with it, genuinely. These are also from Eco Lifestyle. I have used Eco Lifestyle in every game that I have played since I got it. It has been one of the best game expansions I have used just because of the planter boxes. I always have planters. I always have plants with my Sims. I always have. I always will. They're always have gardening going of some kind. And I recently have learned that dragon fruit, even though they cost like 1,400 simoleons just to get them, you can grow them in these planters. You have to plant them in the ground normally first, but then if you go into build buy mode and you just move them into one of these planters, it will be just fine. And you can upgrade these planters to be, self-watering and automatic pest control. So all you have to do is literally go out and collect the stuff. So I do that in winemaking and it makes it super easy. And also dragon fruit, once you get them up to good quality, are worth like 560 simoleons a piece. So if you just put a bunch of dragon fruit in there and grew that, you don't have to work like at all in the Sims for that. Like that's so easy. That's free money. You know what I mean? So I would highly recommend doing that. That's what I do in my most recent saves because I've just been wanting to like have my Sims not be so busy. I wanted to put a little pond back here, but yeah, dragon fruit are the way to go. Granted, I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the little surrounding area of the front porch there with the hedges. I didn't initially see that there was the rose option, and I really liked that one, and I wish I would have gone back through and done it, but it's fine now. I think that if I would have put the rose option, they would have stood up too tall anyways, and it would have just looked kind of odd. I'm still not very good at terrain painting or like outside decoration. I am working on it. It just takes a lot and I don't like doing it. So I have a hard time finding the motivation to do it. Granted, doing stuff like this where I can just layer stuff on top of each other is nice. I love it when they're like good big bushes. I like to use those a lot more. But mostly I try not to overstuff my builds because I have that too much gene and I will just keep going and keep going and keep going when I don't need to. And it ends up being a mess. So I try to avoid that. And I try not to put too much, but I also try to put enough that it's a good starting off point for you to do whatever you want with it. I don't want to put somebody in a box that wants to do other things with it because I've downloaded stuff from the gallery that I've really liked, and it just I'd have had to change stuff, or like I didn't have the packs or something and I had to like switch out whole activities. So I tried to avoid that. Granted, I know that this one uses a lot of packs, but a lot of it are like the doors, the windows. I think like the sofas are from Book Nook. I used Book Nook. I use Book Nook in pretty much every single build too, because I like to build reading corners for my Sims. I find that like before in The Sims, I never let my Sims really read because it didn't build enough skill or anything for me fast enough, and like I just never chose that. But recently, my Sims have all been really wanting to read, and it doesn't seem like they're gaining skill as slowly anymore. So it feels more useful to me to do it. So I've been building a lot more book corners, and honestly, the modular book note kit is amazing for that. I would highly recommend that little. I think it's a kit. It's amazing. Love it to death. This is the master bedroom right here. So we're on the second floor now, but this is the master bedroom. And with the master bedroom, I always love to do a big bathroom that's attached by no other way except for inside the master. I've always kind of done that recently. Well, I've always kind of done that. I like to build that way because it helps separate things. And I've had issues when I've put like 3 bathrooms up there and all like 6 Sims are trying to use the bathroom at once and they just simply can't because there's not enough room or there's not enough toilets or whatever it is that they're trying to do. This is more so just like a bonus room right here, to be honest with you. I made it like a teenager's room or like a kid room. I'm not really sure. This is kind of the same thing. It's another just like bonus room. And honestly, when I played with it, I never accept when people are like, I need a place to stay. You know, when they do that inside The Sims, and they'll call you and like, I need a place to stay for a while. I never say yes to those, but I did say yes because I had so many extra beds and I didn't need them. So I was like, yeah, of course. So now I have these random people staying with me who hate me for some reason. I don't even know how they met my Sims because I just started the game, but like, whatever. This is a bathroom. I was hoping, I kind of misjudged the size of that room. I was hoping I could put like the little ottoman and stuff from Spa Day in there. And I know people don't like Spa Day, but I actually really like Spa Day. I've been using that one. That was like one of the first packs I got was Spa Day, and I really enjoyed it. That one and pets, and I love both of them. Granted, I don't play with pets in a lot of my builds. Even in like my normal gameplay, I don't really play with pets, but I know some people do. I just find them kind of glitchy, and I have to use a mod to like do anything. So here's the slowed down version. We have the front porch, and like I said, it's not super packed. One, I didn't want to add a ton of stuff because it was getting kind of glitchy for me. My Sims game was acting really weird this last week, and I'm not sure why. Could be some mods or something. But this is the front porch. I added some little things here and there, and at night it looks really cute too. This is just a little pond because I felt like it was necessary. We have the back door with the trash can and like a tree, the handiwork table, a pool with the diving board and the relaxation things right under the tree. We have our little greenhouse. I absolutely love this little greenhouse to death. This is like the front door and where we're going to go into the house. So off to the left, we have like the living room. And then off to the right, we have a small book reading area with the couch. Same with this. I put 2 couches in here because it's a pretty big TV. That I wanted to put the biggest TV as well as the gaming console and everything else. We have a little bar area, which I don't normally have my Sims do like mixology. I'm not super interested in it, but that board right there above the stairs has caused me issues. So I will delete that before uploading it. We have their office, which has, again, more Book Nook stuff. As you can tell, I use it a lot. I use it in multiple rooms. We have our nice big kitchen, our nice wide open big kitchen. Um, yeah, that's kind of the first floor. Oh, I forgot the fireplace and everything. I wanted to put a TV in there, but I just felt like it was overkill, so I didn't. The second floor, the main part of this floor is wide open. You can do whatever you want in there. I put like a winemaking thing in there and like some kid activities in my personal game, but I was trying to not put more packs, so I just left it blank. I could have put a rug or something up there. This is that first bonus room or like guest room, I guess. This is the master bathroom. This is the master bedroom. I don't decorate the bedroom super heavily because like I just don't feel like there's really a need to other than kind of like the basics. This is that kid toddler room, if you will. I didn't really know what to put in there, so I just made it the overall kid room. This is a shared bathroom for everybody in the house. So there's only 2 bathrooms and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. 1, 2, something like that. But I haven't had any problems. This is the outside, as you can see. And honestly, I think it turned out really cute. I liked it. I've been playing in it and it's really fun to play in. I haven't needed to move a bunch of stuff. It might not be like the most full-bodied build, but it's honestly really fun to play in. And they're so close to a bunch of outside activities that my intention was for them to be outside anyways. So that is the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye everybody.